Hi, Mark Palmquist here. I just wanted to do one more video to clear up the difference between the skimming disc and the skimming wing. I'll go through those differences in this video, one by one. Okay, so the wing is one piece and the skimming disc is two pieces. It's got the crossbar and the disc and a vertical connector. The other difference is the top of the disc is curved, so if the disc does go underwater, the deflection of the water off the trailing edge is stronger actually than on the wedge, because on the wedge the top is actually flat and it creates no lift. All the lift is generated on the bottom surface for the wedge shaped wing. But other than that, they're about the same surface area. The wetted area on the wing is about the same as the disc. The disc has a little bit more efficient shape. The trailing edge is rounded if you look at the top view. So what that means is it has almost like a built-in suspension system. So and the crossbar will flex upward slightly, and as you encounter a bigger wave, more of the disc will get wet. Let's take a look at the weight. Each disc is 3 kilograms and each crossbar is 2 kilograms. So that adds up to 5 kilograms, which is 11 pounds or so. The wing started out at 19 pounds, and then I added this expanding foam on the inside, and that added a lot of weight. So that's actually probably not the best way to strengthen the wing. Adding a layer of carbon fiber or fiberglass to the bottom probably would have created a wing closer to 20 pounds or 21 pounds or something like that. Okay, so let's talk about buoyancy. The wing has about, if you measure from the edge of the boat, which is around here, there's about 100 pounds of buoyancy in each wing. The Wing Moran 15 has 110, so the wing is slightly bigger. And this disc only has 25 pounds. It's about as much buoyancy as a kickboard. But it has more hydrodynamic lift if it does go underwater, because of the angle at which you multiply the two angles, and it's the angle between the top and bottom is basically what you get, and that vector is slightly more downward than just one coming off of here, even though the bottom angle is the same, because the top contributes no lift. It's totally horizontal to the water, so all it does is kind of let the water shoot over and keep going. That's why technically it's a supercavitating foil, because the water leaves the trailing edge separated. But on the disc, it's not supercavitating. The water leaves the trailing edge recombining, basically, into one fluid stream. So that's the difference. So one has they both have an advantage. For safety purposes, the full wing is safer at low speeds. It's less likely to capsize. But the disc is lighter and it's easier to attach to an existing boat, because the best place to put the wing is right in line with the mast, and you can't just, that's where the mast is, and there's all kinds of stuff around the mast, usually control lines and and boom vangs and all this kind of stuff. So yeah, there's usually a lot going on around the mast on a boat. So but with the crossbar, it's limited to this. As you can see, it's minimal. All right, so I'm going to do a quick test on this beam. The most force that's ever on the beam is going to be this point right here, where it connects, it bolts to here, to the edge of the boat. So everything from here on out is cantilevered, and then this and that can bolt to the boat. And it's always the one in the middle that has the most force on it. I did a force diagram on it. It was like literally triple the amount of force that's at the wingtip. So I'm going to go ahead and stand on this. Ideally, you want it to be able to support 300 pounds about. That would allow the boat to get up to, so that would allow you to go around 13 knots, and maybe more. And I don't weigh 300 pounds, but I'm not really sure I want to break it right now. I'd rather break it while I'm sailing, as long as I'm close to the coast. If you look at the bottom of the beam, I put some fiberglass on the bottom edges, because they'll be in tension. Okay, one more thing. The last time I went sailing, there was a lot of spray off the bow, and water started going into this. The spray started shooting over here and going into here and filling up my wings. So I'm gonna plug that. I'm gonna put a sheet of paper down and then stick this on there, and then put one more here, and that will make it completely waterproof. All right, sealed up the hole. Looks like this now. All I gotta do is prime it and paint it. Okay, here's a wing that's turned upside down. It's basically just a big wedge. There is no curvature. There was a step that I designed into it. If you look here, you can see a slight step in the middle, but when I went to fabricate it, the step kind of collapsed, and so there's a little bit of a step here, and but yeah, this area sort of collapsed. I think it's a function of the spacing of the ribs and how much bending I could get out of this plywood. This is 5mm, but I recommend 4mm in my plans. And I also recommend one layer of fiberglass on the bottom, which I did not do on this one. That's why I had to inject it with foam on the inside. And then this is the last thing that I added, is a fillet and an end plate. This prevents water from shooting out sideways, basically. And this is a weird thing. The expanding foam created this huge bump, and so I was like, okay, I can't get the bump to go away, so I started hand planing it down, and then like a week later the bump collapsed. So now I have this little divot here. So anyway, the surface of this wing is not perfect, but neither is, you know, the body of a whale. Orcas still travel pretty fast, and they have some irregularities in their shapes. But anyway, this is the first boat I've ever made, sailboat at least, so I'm still learning.